What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start the show by being transparent. No shows over the weekend, but it's been a very good last few days. I'll say that. I know I won on Friday at a 5% on Friday, and I also won yesterday. I don't know. Maybe Friday was not a 5%, but yesterday was. So a couple of wins. I know I won, I think, three in a row now. So back on track here, Rob Veno. Plus 119. And this year. Good to be back with you. Hopefully you had a good weekend as well. I know you were hot going into the weekend.
Yeah, we even ran that record ski up to 11-3 after Friday, or 12-3 maybe. Then Saturday came, had one play, Liberty minus 2.5. I can't describe to you my feelings at the end of that game. +8 with a minute five left, and can only win by two, and can't get fouled at the end either. Dodged the foul somehow. So that dropped it to 12-4, and then yes, they started off good with Sparks game total over. Got there pretty easy. Bad call on the Dallas Connecticut game over. Connecticut's second half was as bad at basketball as I've seen in quite some time. And then had another heartbreak at the end. I thought Toronto without Mabry, I played them under 77 team total. They got to 79 in the end and just nipped me. So now we're sitting at, I think it's 13-6 over the last 15 days, still solid, but a couple of tough breaks this weekend that I'd like to have back.
Well, 13-6, still great. And let's see if we can carry that into the new week. We'll start at the top like we always do. That means first game is Seattle and New York. Open up minus 7.5. I'm sorry, open up minus 8.5 for New York. I did see it go up a little bit more than that to 9.5. And now we'll call consensus 7.5. Total open 180.5, and that has gone all the way as high as 183.5. For the Storm, they look pretty healthy. For the Liberty, the same two who have been out, Bebic and Sabali. You know, we were doing a show. There's our guy right there, Brandon, in the chat. We were doing a show last week, and Brandon, it just he couldn't say it enough how bad the Liberty's defense has been since Phoebus just went out. And I agree. I mean, they've been giving it up really to everybody. In the Storm, they've been able to score. I mean, the last game, I feel like they played a really terrible game. They had a lot of turnovers, like 20 turnovers, and they still wound up, being in that game. I think covering that game. So the Liberty, they've been able to score. They just haven't been able to stop anybody. I would agree with this total going up. I think it's one direction for Liberty games as far as totals are concerned. Do you agree, Vino?
Yeah, I do, and I kick myself Saturday for not playing over rather than the Liberty side. Really should have been on over again. I think I had made the comment either last week or the week before. They just look slow to me. Defensively, they look slow. And teams that have run or are capable of running have just pushed pace against the Liberty. And they really can't do anything about it. But as you mentioned, they can score. Real quick, if you're looking at this from a side perspective, Seattle has the absolute worst straight up record in the league. They're in last place, but they're the number 3 point spread team in the league. So you're always getting value with the Seattle Storm here, 18-13 against the spread full season, and 17-11 as an underdog. That's the third best underdog mark in the league. Um, New York, on the other hand, like you said, Ski, they're the number 2 over team in the league. 20-10 to the over. And it's really because of what's happened recently. I mean, their last 20 games, 16 have gone over 80%, and 9 of their last 10. Get into some deeper numbers here really quick. Seattle, a good underdog, but they don't play much defense either. They've given up 95 or more in 4 of their last 5. New York, like you mentioned, 90 or more in 8 straight games. And they have the worst defensive rating in the WNBA over their last 10 games. They're giving up 96 a game, New York, just to emphasize what we've been talking about here. Um, the Storm, it's interesting, Ski, when you go through their numbers to start the season and get to where they are now. They over the last 20 games, they're the second fastest pace in the W. And it didn't start out that way. I went back and checked their beginning numbers. They've raised their pace by like 4 points, from 80 to like 83.8 or something right now. So they're converting to be a fast paced team. It kind of goes hand in hand with what I said earlier. Teams that like to run have run. So I'm sure they'll push New York in this game, especially since New York is home off of a 4 game road trip, right? You probably want to push pace. Seattle got to, I think, 187 against the Dream Friday night, 98-89, hung in there. Flau'jae Johnson just emphasized it. She said, I think transition should be our focal point. That's how I like to play. I like to play fast. Got to believe that's what's going to happen here tonight. Um, to your point, the Liberty, they just keep scoring 91 points or more in 6 of their last 7. No Sabali, no Phoebich, no problem. Still going to get to 91, and it's a bad defense they're going up against here. So to me, you start putting all that together and then just go back to June 25th when they played previously. That game scored 187 points. There were 146 shot attempts in that game, almost 400 potential points. Seattle in that game, 21-4, fast break advantage. I could see it happening again tonight. So to me, I'd agree with you. The move on the total is probably the right way to go until we see anything different out of New York. I would imagine this one gets over 182 and a half.
All right, we're in agreement on that, and we'll move on over to the next game, which looks like Aces and Atlanta Dream opened up -1. I see 2.5s out there. Total open 182.5, and another one that continues to climb. I see it as high as 186 out there. Injury report: Cheyenne Parker Tice will miss, and then Pow Pow will be out for this Dream team. The Dream do have a little bit of a rest advantage. I do know that. Um, Aces did lose their last game on a buzzer beater to, who was it? Sydney Taylor hit that buzzer beater.
Mm.
So Aces off a loss. I feel like I'd want to back them more times than not, and they've beaten this Dream team consistently. I mean, last time the Dream beat the Aces was like, a little over 2 years ago. Um, I think you get a focused Aces team. I think they're good enough to beat the Dream. There's no way that I could be paying, lane or any buy or any juice on the money line or anything with the Dream. It's Aces or nothing for me in this one. What do you think?
Yeah, these are interesting line moves, Ski. I mean, the total just continues to go up as if they know the final score already. Atlanta, I see as much as 3.5 right now in prediction markets, 2.5 mostly in basic sports betting outlets. But the Aces have a ton to play for here. I mean, it's kind of time we're going to start mentioning where playoff positions are important. Golden State's win last night tied Las Vegas for the number 2 spot, and 1 and 2 get pushed through with home floor advantage. And at Las Vegas, that home floor means a lot. And so I think there's plenty of incentive for them. Atlanta actually moved into the top 4. So there's plenty of incentive for them because top 4, you get, better draw. Um, but I don't know. To me, Atlanta, I've said this before, at home, they're a bully team. They really do push around teams that are towards the bottom of the standings, mid to bottom of the standings. They don't necessarily push around good teams at home.
Exactly.
And that game against Dallas a couple of nights back where they scored like 7 points in the last 18 seconds because Enrique, gave up a 5 point play. They should have lost that game. So to me, it's interesting. The injury report being what it is, and the two teams, the situation that they're in, I just don't know why there's such a heavy rush towards Atlanta and over in this game. Not sure that I agree with either one of them, but it's one that I have to, continue to look at throughout the day to see if there's an angle here on this game. I would have to say I just don't agree with the market moves here.
Appreciate you for tone. And also, I mean, Vino touched on this, but we're gonna go to these comments. We're gonna talk about just a little more because both Brandon and Pharaoh are saying the Dream are playing well, playing better than the Aces. Vino just told you The Dream beat up on the poor. He mentioned that Wings game that they didn't even deserve to win. They won by one because of some dumb shit at the end. Um, they beat the Storm. They beat the Sky. They beat the Tempo. They beat the Sparks. I mean, when's the last time they even played a good team? Said they've been playing. Well, who cares? Who cares they beating these teams? They should. Um, so I don't know. I'm not gonna care about Dream playing better versus Bums. I just don't. Anything else you want to add before we move on here, Vino?
Yeah, no, I think that's I guess the only other point here is it's a little more difficult for Angel Reese to keep posting these huge double doubles when you're playing Asia Wilson and motivated tonight. I know Bree Jones brings a little bit more to the interior, but I don't know, Ski. When you match them up, it's hard. Um, it's hard to agree with the way the market is playing it right now.
There's one question that I addressed here. Why are they favorites? I would say the Aces are at a rest disadvantage for one, and the Aces had to travel. The Dream had a couple days off, did not have to travel. Yes, the Dream are also at home. So I just think all of those things, you know, are why you see that. And people are gonna recency bias. You see the Dream have won what 5 games in a row, and they have a great situation right now. People will probably want the Dream. Just like you guys are saying, the Dream are playing better, right? It makes sense. Why I mean the line only opened -1. It's pretty much a pick 'em. And now we're seeing 2.5s or going up. So that's my answer. Anything else we know before we go? Or not go before we move on?
Yeah, nobody here is saying the Dream can't win and cover this game. I'm just saying it's a little curious these line moves to me with nothing major going on here. I just don't really understand why it's being pushed Atlanta and over.
All right, last game on the slate. Mercury and Sky. This one opened up -1.5 for Chicago. We've seen a flip of favorites. The Mercury are now -1.5. Total open 177.5. Not a well, it's as high as 179.5 at one shop. So uh, maybe we are expecting Kelsey Plum to make her debut. That would be my guess with the total going up and the line flipping. To Phoenix as a short favorite. They do currently have Plum as game time, Sammy Whitcomb as probable. So they probably expect both of them to play. Meanwhile, on the other side, still no Skyler, but also no Azare, who I think is a big deal for the Chicago team. Um, you know, I think I would agree mostly with the total. I think that the Sky, no matter who they play, they want to play fast, and they're not the best defensively. For the Mercury, if you want the over, you absolutely, you know, want both of those guards to play. Sammy Whitcomb is probable, which is good. She'll give you some space and some 3-point shooting. Kelsey Plum, she's gonna give you, all kind of playmaking and scoring, and not a whole lot of defense. So if you can get both of them in, this looks like, it looks like it should touch 180. Any thoughts from you, Phoenix and Chicago?
Yeah, first thing I'll say is that lone shop that's carrying the highest total is just probably wants your money worse than anybody else because they have the highest total in every game. I mean, whatever game it is, they just make their total higher and they're welcoming people to the window. Yeah, Ski, I would say this. Maybe sidewise, when you look at the line movement, I think you could say that people are anticipating Kelsey Plum to play. She probably was going to play for the Sparks if she had remained there yesterday. She had announced that she would play Sunday. So I would figure she probably goes here. To me, once she's officially announced, this total hasn't really jumped the way it should jump if people knew already that Kelsey Plum was playing it. And once she gets announced, this thing's not going to be in this range anymore. It'll be 180 and a half, 181. The freight train will come. when she's announced in. So I think if you want to take advantage, you take advantage now. I've been a proponent of Sky overs for quite some time now. They've made me a lot of money over the last 3 weeks. Did not get there on Saturday. I would attribute that to, sometimes the early starts just cause bad starts to games, and that game was slow starting for the most part. Picked up in the end. As far as side is concerned, I tell you what, it's interesting, Ski, because I talked about earlier that we'll look at playoff pushes from teams now and importance of games being a little bit more. In the NBA right now, we would be talking about tanking. Like who wants that first draft pick? I don't know how the WNBA draft works. I don't know if it's a lottery like the NBA or not. But the teams at the bottom aren't tanking. I watch these teams play, and they're all, if you're not in the playoffs, you're still playing hard. Chicago's playing very hard. The Seattle team we talked about earlier gives you 40 full minutes. Phoenix is playing exceptionally hard, didn't give up the other day. So I think both of these teams are motivated where side is concerned. I think I find the most value in the total here, getting up and over this number. And I'd get it probably sooner rather than later because I don't think it's going down. Figure Kelsey Plum will play. We often say, does she fit right in right away, or does she kind of, tinker with what's going on already? But Phoenix has scored very well as of late. Last 3 games, 86 or more. Everybody seems to be playing better. And I don't know that Kelsey Plum would be a disruption to any of that because Akoa Makani hadn't been giving them anything offensively. So I'm going to look toward over in that game. I think that's probably a solid play.
All right, good stuff. Kyle coming in late saying, how much is KP worth to the line if she is an outstanding? Probably goes off of Phoenix minus 2.5 or worse. Yeah. I would say this is a special situation because she's been out for so long. She's probably going to be on a minutes limit. She might be rusty. So you might not get the normal, jump in the line that you might get, uh, as far as what she's normally worth to the line of a game. So I don't think it will move that much. I don't. What about anything you want to add, or we can move on?
Now, I would just say that the name Kelsey Plum probably does attract money. And maybe, like you're saying, you don't get the Kelsey Plum top end production tonight, right? So for betters, it's probably better that people recognize, oh crap, Kelsey Plum's playing Bet Phoenix. I think it probably would rise a little bit. We'll see how it goes.
And I like this comment from Brandon. Kalia Copper also playing in Chicago. She won a title for them. The fans like her a lot. She'll get up for this game, he says. I could agree with that. All right, before we move it on over, I like this comment too. Over under 0.5 best bets today, or over 1.5 best bets for plus money.
That's fantastic.
All right, let's put up. Well, actually, I guess I gotta pump the brakes. Well, we still do have it, right? I think I saw something saying we're still doing it. So it's the usuals. And let's get the banner out the way. 2 for 1, 3-day all access. Skee and Veno comes out to only $69. Every play, every sport. If you just want to rock with one of us, you can buy 3 get 3 free. 6 days comes out to just $69. And on that note, Vino, I'm just going to pass it back to you. If there's anything else you would like to promote, feel free. And if you have a best bet for the show, if you want to help them cashing over in the chat, uh, I'm sure they would love to hear it. If not, no
Yeah.
worries though.
The first promo, I could say this. That promo of you and I combined bets every single day has been about as complimentary as it could be. One of us slides, the other picks up. I had a bad stretch. You were fantastic. And right now, you're probably making money on that package. So I could certainly endorse that. And the 6 for 3 always, upcoming here is, preseason football and everything. So that's 6 for 3 during this month probably would be something you'd look at too. You're going to start getting a little bit more. As for best bets, I'll tilt the thing over half a best bet here, Skee. So whoever bet
There you
over
go. You
half
catch
of a
one.
best bet,
You catch a ticket.
somebody prediction market losers hand yours over and winners. I'm going to leave you with Seattle, New York over 182.5. We explained why in depth. It just seems like the right way to go here at this point in time. Fade New York, or just play New York, I should say, as an over team. And Seattle has picked up the pace. They're a young team. They'll probably push here. So I would think there's enough opportunity to get up and over 182.5.
All right, good stuff from Vino. And man, if you took that plus money at 1.5, you got too greedy, man. You got too greedy. You should have just took the short winner with the 0.5. You got too greedy trying to get extra. I'm not gonna leave one because the only bet I have is the one that I love, 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 like I talked about. That's why I won three in a row. I got irritated that I was losing, and I said I'm only betting the ones that I love, and I've had three straight um good ones, or two or three straight good ones. But I won 13 of my last 15 5%, and I have one that I love today. So if you want to join, it's up available on my page. I do it, you know. If you don't, I don't. I mean, we gave you a breakdown of every game. I know you guys get on me in the comment section about not leaving the best bet, but doing my low volume, I can't give you what everybody's buying. You know, my 5%. All right, Vino, it's good to be back with you. I'm gonna actually head home after this show. So next show I do will be in Vegas. I know they got that bet bash or whatever that is going out there. So maybe I'll go see what that's about. But always good to do the show with you. Definitely help my process when you break down the games. Chat, we appreciate you all as well. Best of luck on all your action, and we will catch you all again tomorrow. Only one game, but we'll be here.